The Kelly Clarkson show had never felt this tense. For 7 years, the stage at 30 Rock had been a haven, soft lighting, a live band that felt like family, and an audience that laughed easily and clapped with genuine warmth. Kelly had built something rare in daytime television. A space where celebrities forgot they were being watched by millions, where vulnerability wasn't a weakness, but the entire point. But on this particular afternoon, something shifted before the first question was even asked. Harry arrived with an entourage that seemed excessive for a talk show. Multiple security guards, handlers who scanned the room like they expected an ambush, someone whose entire job appeared to be looking worried. The energy backstage changed instantly. The easy chatter of crew members faded, replaced by hushed tones and nervous glances. When Harry walked onto the set, his posture was controlled, almost military. He shook Kelly's hand briefly, too briefly, and settled into the guest chair like a man bracing for an interrogation, not a conversation. Kelly, ever the professional, offered her signature warmth. A genuine smile, an open posture, the kind of down-to-earth energy that had made her America's favorite host. But Harry didn't relax. His answers came clipped, guarded. Every question was met with something cold, something calculated, as if he'd rehearsed responses to deflect before any real connection could form. So Kelly tried something else. She leaned forward, her voice dropping to something more personal. She shared what she rarely shared on air. The raw, unpolished truth about her own divorce. About losing her ex-husband Brandon just last year. About what it actually means to prioritize family when everything else is falling apart. She was offering him something precious. Not an interview, but a bridge. What Harry said next made Kelly's smile disappear entirely. And what Kelly said after that, drawing on everything she'd lived through, everything she'd built from nothing, everything she'd lost, would become the most talked about moment in the show's 7-year history. This is the interview everyone's still discussing. Let's see what happened. The studio at 30 Rock had its usual welcoming energy. My band, y'all, warming up with their signature soulful groove. The audience, regular people who'd won tickets or waited in line for hours, settled into their seats like they were visiting a friend's living room. Kelly moved through the space with practiced ease, greeting fans, laughing at inside jokes with her crew. She'd been doing this since 2019. 7 seasons. Her final year. She wanted to end on a high note. Harry arrived with security that seemed excessive for a daytime talk show. Multiple guards, handlers, someone whose entire job appeared to be looking worried. He walked onto the set with controlled posture, shook Kelly's hand briefly, settled into the guest chair like someone expecting an interrogation rather than a conversation. Prince Harry, welcome to the show. Kelly began, her voice warm but measured. That's it. Just Kelly. She smiled. Most people seem at least a little excited to be here. We've got music. We've got fun. Loosen up. I appreciate the invitation, Harry replied, his tone flat. Appreciation is good, Kelly said, her eyes narrowing slightly. But participation is better. Let's have a real conversation. She paused, gathering herself. I want to start with something I've been thinking about, she said, settling into her hosting rhythm. Family. It's everything to me. I've got River and Remy. They're why I'm ending this show. 7 years, but they need me more than the audience does right now. She looked at him directly. What does prioritizing family look like for you? Harry's expression was guarded. His jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. My children are my priority, he said. Kelly didn't blink. Are they? Because reports say they've seen their grandfather once in 6 years. They barely know their cousins. Their uncle reportedly threatens to boycott family events because of them. She tilted her head. How does that square with prioritizing family? Harry shifted in his seat. The situation is complicated, he said. Complicated is code for, I don't want to explain, Kelly replied, her voice still calm but carrying an edge now. I've been through complicated. My divorce was complicated. Losing Brandon last year was complicated. But I still figure out how to make family work. What's your version of figuring it out? Our circumstances are different, Harry said. Every circumstance is different, Kelly shot back. But the fundamentals are the same. Kids need grandparents. Kids need cousins. Kids need connection to their heritage. What are your kids getting? Harry said nothing, and in that silence, something shifted in the room. The audience, which had been relaxed and expectant, suddenly grew still. The band's warm-up faded to a quiet hum. You could hear the air conditioning hum, the shuffle of a camera operator's shoes, someone in the front row holding their breath. Kelly leaned forward, her voice dropping to something almost intimate. "Let me share something with you," she said. "I lost my ex-husband last August. Brandon, father of my children. Whatever happened between us, he was still their dad. That loss changed everything. How I see time, how I see family, how I see what actually matters." She paused. "Your father is 77. He's had cancer. He's trying to reach out. Your brother is right there. Same country, same language, same history. You could pick up the phone today." Her voice cracked, just slightly. "I don't have that option anymore. Brandon is gone. Why are you wasting what I'd give anything to have back?" Harry shifted uncomfortably. His hands gripped the arms of his chair. "The dynamics are more complex," he said. "Dynamics, complexity, circumstances." Kelly counted them off on her fingers. "You keep using words that explain nothing. I'm asking a simple question. Why don't you call your dad? Why don't you see your brother? What's actually stopping you?" "You don't understand," Harry said. "I understand loss," Kelly replied, her voice rising slightly. "I understand complicated family relationships. I understand what it's like when tabloids cover every moment of your personal struggles." She paused. "I also understand that time runs out. Are you going to wait until it's too late?" Harry's jaw tightened further. His knuckles were white. "The divorce rumors," Kelly continued, her tone shifting to something sharper now. "They're everywhere. I've been through a public divorce. I know what that feels like. Every detail dissected. Every move analyzed. But I didn't spend years complaining about the coverage. I moved forward." She looked at him, her eyes steady. "What's your approach?" Harry exhaled through his nose. "Tabloid speculation doesn't deserve response," he said. "But you respond to everything," Kelly countered. "Oprah interviews, Netflix documentaries, books. You respond constantly, just on your terms. The selective engagement is obvious." "I choose how to share my story," Harry said. "You choose when sharing serves your narrative," Kelly replied. "When questions get uncomfortable, suddenly privacy matters. I've noticed that pattern. Everyone's noticed it." Harry's jaw tightened. "I've been unfairly treated," he said. "Some coverage has been unfair." "Welcome to fame," Kelly said. "Some of my coverage has been unfair, too. The difference is I don't build an industry around my victimhood. I make music. I do shows. I raise my kids. What do you do besides process your grievances publicly?" She leaned forward, her voice dropping to a near whisper. "I built my career from nothing," she said. "American Idol, a singing competition. I was a waitress. I had nothing. No connections, no platform, no name. I earned every single thing I have. Every album. Every award. This show. All of it." She looked at him directly. "What have you earned? Not inherited. Not received because of who your parents are. Earned. Through your own talent. Your own work. Your own effort." Harry's expression hardened. "I've worked hard." "At what specifically?" Kelly interrupted. "What job did you get without royal connections? What platform did you build without your title? What audience did you earn without being a prince?" She gestured toward him. "The Invictus Games, which you founded as a prince using royal visibility, royal connections, royal platform. What have you created that would exist if you were Harry Smith from Liverpool?" Silence stretched painfully across the studio. "That silence answers my question," Kelly said softly. "I could list dozens of things," Harry started. "You can't list one," Kelly said. "That's the difference between us. Archwell, Harry said defensively. Our foundation. Your foundation that exists because you're royal, Kelly said. That gets donations because you're royal. That gets media attention because you're royal. She paused. What does it actually accomplish that doesn't depend on your title? We've created meaningful partnerships. Partnerships toward what result? Kelly pressed. I've done charity work for 20 years. I can describe specific outcomes. Specific people helped. Specific changes made. What's your equivalent? Our approach focuses on systemic change. Systemic change you can't describe, Kelly said. That's what everyone says when nothing tangible has happened. After years of operation, surely something concrete exists. Impact takes time, Harry said. I've helped build recording studios for schools in months, Kelly said. I've supported tornado relief in weeks. Impact doesn't take years. Takes action. What action have you taken? Harry grabbed his water. His hand was trembling. The UK visit, Kelly pressed. July. Birmingham. Reports say your father is paying for security after you publicly accused him of blocking your return. On the BBC, you called it an establishment stitch-up. You blamed him directly. Now you're accepting his help. How do you reconcile that? The situation evolved, Harry said. Evolved from Dad blocked me to Dad is paying, Kelly said. That's quite an evolution. Did you apologize for the BBC accusations? My concerns were valid. Were they? Kelly interrupted. Because he's proving them wrong by helping you. Either your concerns were exaggerated or he's changed dramatically. Which is it? Both things can be true. Both things can also be convenient, Kelly said. Accuse him when it builds sympathy. Accept his help when you need it. That's not complexity. That's opportunism. Harry stood up. I won't sit here and be lectured, he said. I'm not lecturing, Kelly said, standing too. I'm asking questions based on your own public statements. If your statements contradict each other, that's not my problem. She took a step closer. You know what bothers me most? She said. I've been watching you for years, the interviews, the documentary, the book, and I keep waiting for the moment when you take responsibility for something. Anything. Some moment where you say, I got that wrong, or I contributed to this problem, or I made a mistake. She looked at him with genuine confusion. It never comes. Everything is the institution's fault, the media's fault, your family's fault. Your father blocked you. Your brother betrayed you. The press persecuted you. She paused. Never once have you said, here's what I did wrong.
Eva acknowledged mistakes.
Have you? Kelly said. Name one specifically. Something you did, not something done to you that you regret that you do differently. That was your fault. More silence. Harry opened his mouth, then closed it. I've made plenty of mistakes, Kelly said, her voice softening. Said things I shouldn't. Made decisions I regret. The difference is I can access them. I can name them. I can learn from them. She looked at him with something close to pity. You can't name a single one. That's not healing. That's avoidance. Harry moved toward the exit. This show isn't what I expected, he said. Kelly didn't move from her spot. This show is exactly what it's always been, she said. Warmth. Honesty. Real conversation. I offered you all three. You rejected the warmth. You avoided the honesty. You couldn't participate in real conversation. She shook her head. That's not the show's failure. Your questions have been hostile. My questions have been personal, Kelly said. Because that's what I do. I share what I've been through and I ask people to share too. I told you about losing Brandon. About ending this show for my kids. About building everything from nothing. You shared nothing. Every answer was managed. Every response was strategic. Harry paused at the door. You don't understand my situation, he said. I understand building from nothing, Kelly said. I understand public divorce. I understand loss that changes everything. I understand prioritizing children over career. She paused. What I don't understand is having every opportunity I'd give anything for and wasting it on grievance. Her voice cracked. I'm ending this show to be with my kids, she said. 7 years, 22 Emmys, an audience that feels like family. And I'm walking away because River and Remy need me more than any of this. That's what prioritizing family looks like.
Actual sacrifice.
She looked at him, her eyes wet. You claim to prioritize family while being estranged from yours. You claim to sacrifice while living in a Montecito mansion. You claim to put your children first while using them in Netflix documentaries. She shook her head. The words and the actions don't match.
Eve sacrificed.
What? Kelly asked. A palace for a mansion? One kind of privilege for another. Her voice hardened. I was a waitress. I lived in my car. I built everything from literal nothing. Don't talk to me about sacrifice while you're still called Prince and living off deals you got because of your bloodline. Harry left. The studio door closed behind him with a soft click that sounded like a gunshot in the silence. The audience sat in stunned stillness. No one moved. No one breathed. You could hear the hum of the lights, the distant sound of traffic from the street below. Someone in the back row exhaling like they'd been holding their breath for the entire exchange. Kelly turned to face them. Tears were forming in her eyes. I'm sorry you had to see that, she said softly. She took a breath, steadying herself. This show has always been about real connection, real conversation. For 7 years, I've tried to create a space where people could be themselves, where celebrities could drop the performance and just be human with us. She wiped her eyes. What you just saw was someone who couldn't do that. Couldn't or wouldn't drop the performance. Couldn't access anything genuine. Couldn't participate in the kind of conversation we have every single day on this show. She managed a small smile. I've been through hard things. Losing Brandon. Ending this show. But I've always been able to be real about it. To share what I'm actually feeling, to be present. What I experienced just now was the opposite of presence. It was performance pretending to be a person. She paused, looking directly at the camera. Here's what I want to say, she continued, and this is for anyone watching who's in a family conflict, who's estranged from someone they love, who's waiting for the perfect moment to reach out. She leaned forward. Don't wait. Don't let years pass. Don't build walls and call them protection. Her voice cracked. I can't call Brandon anymore. Whatever we didn't resolve stays unresolved. That's the cost of waiting. She paused. He has a father who's 77 and had cancer. He has a brother who's right there. He has a whole family he could reconnect with today. And he's choosing grievance instead. Every day he chooses it again. She straightened. Time runs out. I learned that the hard way. I hope he doesn't have to learn it the way I did, because by then it's too late. She turned back to her audience. When we come back, someone who actually wants to have a conversation. That's what this show is supposed to be. The footage aired that day. NBC made no edits. The clips that spread captured the raw confrontation. Kelly's trembling voice, Harry's rigid posture. The moment he walked out, social media exploded within hours. News outlets dissected every frame. Commentators took sides, but something unexpected happened. Most people took Kelly's. Why are you wasting what I'd give anything to have back? What have you earned? Not inherited, earned? I could list dozens of things I've built. You can't list one. Both things can also be convenient. That's not complexity. That's opportunism. Never once have you said, here's what I did wrong. Don't talk to me about sacrifice while you're still called Prince. Harry's team released a statement calling the interview an inappropriate exploitation of personal grief to attack a mental health advocate. Kelly addressed it the following day.
Exploitation.
She shook her head. I shared my experience because that's what I do on this show. I've shared everything. My divorce, my struggles losing Brandon. I shared because I thought maybe it would help him access something real. She paused. It didn't. He couldn't share anything. Couldn't name a mistake. Couldn't explain the contradictions in his own story. She looked directly at the camera. My grief isn't a weapon. It's just real. I built everything from nothing. I've been through real loss. When someone with every privilege I'd give anything for sits in my chair and plays victim, I notice. She smiled, but there was steel in it. And on my show, we say what we notice. That's the whole point. For Kelly Clarkson, the interview became an unexpected capstone to her final season. Proof that 7 years of authentic conversation had given her the ability to recognize when authenticity was absent. She'd spent her entire career being underestimated. The waitress who won a singing competition, the pop star who survived a public divorce, the daytime host who built something real in a genre often dismissed as fluff. And in that moment, she'd shown millions exactly what real looked like. For Prince Harry, it was devastating in a unique way. Kelly wasn't hostile journalism. She wasn't a tabloid provocateur or a royal correspondent with an agenda. She was America's sweetheart. Someone who'd been through public divorce, real loss, who'd built everything from nothing. Being unable to connect with Kelly Clarkson, walking out on the warmest host in daytime, exposed something no PR strategy could address. But for the millions who watched, something else emerged. The contrast between Kelly, waitress to superstar, public divorce survivor, ending her show to prioritize her kids, and Harry's complete inability to name anything he'd earned or acknowledge any mistake he'd made told its own story. Kelly asked what he'd built. Harry couldn't answer. Kelly asked about his contradictions. Harry walked out. Kelly shared her genuine loss. Harry couldn't access anything genuine in return. And in that absence, in that devastating inability to connect with someone offering pure warmth, everything anyone needed to know about what Prince Harry had become was revealed. Some people meet warmth with warmth. Others prove they've forgotten how. Kelly offered everything. Harry took nothing. That's the whole story. 7 years of daytime television. 22 Emmys. America's warmest host. And he couldn't connect with any of it. What does that tell you about what remains when genuine is impossible? If you want more content that recognizes when warmth gets rejected, subscribe, turn on notifications. More authenticity, more connection, more of what 7 years of genuine conversation can recognize.